So daylight's running out as usual, and we've got a backhoe here, and we're starting to work on our trenching project, but there's something that kind of has to happen first, and that's we have to upgrade our rock Grizzly. If you haven't seen our Grizzly video, we'll link to it over here. We needed something to separate all of this rock from our soil. That rock right there, which is 50% of our soil. But we thought instead of buying fill that we would create our own fill. And we would say that the Grizzly worked pretty dang good, only it's kind of fragile. The only major weakness of the Grizzly was two things. One, the mesh that we used to create kind of this like filter was from our garden. It was garden mesh, I don't even know what it's called. And it unfortunately didn't like getting pounded with rocks. So we're going to upgrade that today. We bought some chain link fence, and I think this is gonna work a lot better. The other thing that was weak on the Grizzly was the deck, or whatever it's called, is too low. So it ends up getting buried in rock at the bottom, and then when you try to move it, you end up ripping it apart because the rock that's on the bottom is so heavy. So today we're gonna do some repairs on that.
Like a hand.
Got it. All right, got all of our tools loaded, and before we finished the last time, we left the Grizzly at the top of the hill. So we're gonna have to go over there to work on it. It may not be good dating advice, but I think a good relationship starts with taking your good spouse on a good four-wheeler ride. You'll find out what she's made out of, and whether she thinks you're reckless, crazy, safe, cute, funny, or hot.
Maybe both.
Or all the above.
Or none of them.
Or none.
What we didn't remember until now is that we're missing a 4x4 on the bottom here.
2x4.
What'd I say, 4x4? It's actually in this pile of rock here.
It's a 2x6.
Oh wow.
So somewhere in there.
Jesse yoinked it out and the board decided to stay behind, and I don't think we're gonna get to it. But there is a 2x4. There's two 2x4s right here.
Hey, we'll make it work.
So, yay! I love when you find like dimensional lumber laying around in good quality.
I think I knocked all these out of the Grizzly, yeah, because I'll look at all the sheared off screws.
Okay.
So I think these used to be slats in the Grizzly.
So we can use them.
So yeah, I was a little harsh on it. What can I say? Oh, so it looks like we have more work to do than that. So I remember now why that didn't work. And that's because there's no legs on the front. So we actually need to put legs in the front. So it's gonna take more work than we can do tonight. But we can get a little ways tonight. We can probably get the chain link fence put on. We can get this fascia board put on down there, and we might be able to get this raised up so that all we have to do tomorrow is put the legs on the bottom. Oh, whoa. So looks like we're gonna cut right here.
I'm digging my utility pockets.
Oh yeah.
It's always got place to put my stuff.
Look at you being all utility. Good. So, I don't know, but you might be able to
just thread it out.
Kinda, like unhook it, unhook
weird.
it, unhook it. I've never done this stuff before. Rule number 1, when you're working away from your office, always bring a spare battery. Because inevitably, if you're like me, the one that's in your drill is dead. We're back in business. So I just remembered something that I could have done way better, and that is I used good deck screws to hold these slats in, and when you know it, that when you're pounding on them with rocks, they tend to shear off in here. And so what I've had to do is go through and pound them out because they're all bent and mangled from these members getting ripped off. Let's just say at the end of the job I was being pretty abusive. You can see all this damage I did by banging on it with the bucket trying to get the rocks to fall off. So that and yanking off that bottom board by far did the most damage to the system.
Dun, dun, dun.
Whoa, cool. We're already ready for that?
Well, one of them.
I totally regret not doing that in the first place because that looked way easier than dealing with that chicken wire garbage.
Well, this was free because we already had it and we already had extra, and this was like, what, 75 bucks?
True. That's true. Okay, touche. Most everything is driven by budget.
Every problem can be solved with money, though.
Ooh.
Just how many problems do you want to solve?
Some of you folks might not know that back in January, we invested in a new camera, our Canon 80D. We'll link to that video over here. One of the reasons we did that is because by now, our old Nikon was dead because it's too dark. We couldn't shoot.
It's past 8 o'clock at night right now.
Yeah.
Friday.
And we're shooting.
I think we're 112.
Yeah. So cut this side. Yeah. There you go. Good one.
Yeah.
Oh, that looks so difficult.
Oh, it's easier to cut this way.
Is it? Huh. Isn't that weird? If I wanted to fix this better, I would use joist hangers probably to hold on to these and toenail into this board. And then I think the other suggestion a lot of people mentioned, and I think it was on my list of ideas too, was to use anchors in here. I can't remember the name of them, but there's like these screws that are basically as good as a lag bolt, and you can go ahead and put those in there. So if you're thinking about making something like this, take a couple of tips. Either use joist hangers, pretty cheap, or use some pretty sturdy screw to put in here. So what I'm going to do is I need to measure off what the centers are on these things and then go ahead and attach them.
Do you want to attach it before we have the board on the bottom?
The board on the bottom. This is.
Oh, you added a board. Okay.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. Now I need to mark them off.
Okay, it's the feet that we have to worry about tomorrow.
Yeah, so tomorrow we're going to have to drill in here and put a leg in there to match the ones in the back to bring the front up. But we could put all this together right now, so. So daylight ran out last night. We've got to get this rock Grizzly fixed. So we're gonna grab posts and then we've got to secure the fence and then we need to give it a quick test.
We got the posts.
Ooh, it's gonna take 2 of these little squiggly holder downer thingers.
We like the squiggly holder downers. They're pretty handy.
They're pretty good, you know? Whoever had this idea. Someday I'll have to take one apart and figure out what the genius is behind it. It's probably uranium or something.
She's still here. Didn't go anywhere over the night.
So I think we're gonna try to put the fence on first. That way when we raise it up, it's not too high for us to work on. And then we're gonna drill and put these front legs on. So, call me ambitious, but I got these auger bits at a garage sale and they're really sharp, which I'm excited about. Ooh. And this is my grandpa's bit and brace or hand drill. So I'm kind of excited to use it. I'm feeling a little ambitious. It might be more work than it's worth, but I think
we have power tools as a backup, right?
Yeah, but you know what? These bits don't fit in those drills really. They just damage the chuck. So they're perfect for this, and we'll see how it goes. See, look at that. Oh, nice. Nice. Cool. All right.
Get her done.
We'll do that in a minute.
Rock Grizzly 2.0. Think we should sell plans for this?
God, I hope not. Hate the liability on that.
Let's just say if you buy a rocky property like ours, the plans are cheap.
Yeah. So Alyssa has been promoted to project manager on the completion of the Grizzly 2.0 project. Yep. So we did get the legs installed. Went pretty good. Gosh, I mean, you could sit and perfect this design, but fact of the matter is,
there's a house to build.
Yes, we've got other priorities. And then Alyssa got the fence installed. Everything looks pretty good there. I'm kind of curious to see how much more durable. I mean, it's definitely heavier than the chicken wire, but it's definitely stronger too. So anyway, Alyssa is actually going to put our diagonal bracing on the legs. She's going to go get some pieces that are cut to length, put those on, and then I've got to move on to backhoe duty.
We're going to do the side and the shade first, because I'm the boss. The boss does what they want. Pretty snazzy. Okay, I think the legs are even and I have it braced pretty well, so we're gonna let her sit until we're ready to test. It's bright and early. Way too early for these two fools to be up. Probably got up at 5:30, went to bed at 1. Meh, whatever. You guys like my massively oversized hood? This thing's so huge. Covers my eyes. Anyways. Wow. Yay! I think it works.
Holy crap!
My goodness, look at all that rock. What do you think?
Well, we definitely made a huge upgrade. I would say steeper actually is better. I was kind of like, oh, I made it steeper, and I think that's actually better because the rock just flies off there now. There's no sticking on the rock. But I forgot we were gonna put a piece of plywood on the front to keep the rock from rolling right back underneath on the topsoil. So I guess we'll have to make a 2.5 rock Grizzly. So far, the chain link's taking a pounding pretty good.
Yeah,
so
it is.
That's good. And I have to say that backhoe is much faster at this than the excavator. This would have taken me probably 30 minutes and I've probably done it in like 15. So I would definitely say if you have rocky soil, this is the way to go. But we're definitely not easy on this thing, so build yours appropriate for your rocks. We're dropping about 200-pound rocks on this thing from what, like 8 feet up? So
It's pretty good.
it's saving us thousands of dollars in soil. I would say well worth the investment, plus it's kind of fun.
It's pretty fun.
Honestly, if you do it right the first time, you're probably out 200 bucks for a Grizzly.
That's pretty good.
That's cheap in the grand scheme of things. That's cheap if you can make your own dirt. All right, Moss Grizzly, thanks for joining us.